Good morning, Greeny. How are you?
I'm great. It's been too long. It's a pleasure to see you. And let's start with what they're doing. I mean, you obviously legendarily went up against Belichick, and you know all about it. And you saw what happened last year, and he just has decided to go out. And I'm not sure you've seen it this morning, but they signed Hunter Henry as well. They added him,
Yeah.
so they got the two good tight ends, Hunter Henry along with Jonnu Smith, Matthew Judon leading the names on the defense, completely remaking that team. What do you think?
Yeah, I love the moves, and as you guys talking about, does this translate to wins? But the bottom line is Bill Belichick wants to be in the playoffs, and not being in the playoffs last year. And I know a lot of things happened, a lot of opt-outs, and all of those things. But bottom line is they expect to win in New England, and they didn't believe they had the roster to do that. And so they have been very active. Starting I think with Cam Newton. I think that surprised a lot of us that they went out and signed Cam Newton back with some of the struggles last year. But I feel like the Patriots are saying, okay, if we're going to bring Cam Newton back, which we want to bring him back because there's some good things there that lend itself to how we want to play, now we've got to surround him with talent and guys that can help him play his best football. I thought last year they tried to be too much Tom Brady in the passing game, meaning, all of this short stuff, expecting Cam Newton to try to decipher defenses and pick teams apart. That's not Cam Newton. You run the football, you play action. I love the idea of bringing in two quality tight ends to be able to attack between the hashes off of play action. And we can just look back to Carolina when Cam was at his best. It was with Greg Olsen, and they could isolate him and they could do some one-on-one stuff with him. Now they've got two tight ends there, which they hadn't had much production at the tight end spot since Gronk. And that was really how they've always been built. So I love the moves that they're making, a tackle, a pass rusher, the two tight ends. I think they're doing some great things in New England.
And two wide receivers. They signed Nelson Aguilar and Kendrick Bourne as well. But let's focus on Cam, because a lot of the questions I had on the TV show this morning were about if everything else is as it is, can they play winning football with Cam? So teach us a little something. I like the direction you were going. If you're designing that offense with Cam Newton at the quarterback and all the players we just described, what's it going to look like? What is that offense going to be to maximize your chance of winning?
I believe, Greeny, it starts with what they did last year. When they were able to establish the run and, they're going to play good defense. They're not going to give up a lot of points. That's a successful formula. But in this day and age, you have to be able to throw the football. You have to have some consistency throwing the football. And where Cam, to me, has always struggled has been outside the numbers. When you're trying to stretch it and attack outside the numbers, or you're asking him to make 35 or 40 throws as opposed to 25 or 30, where he's pushing the ball down the field with his bigger arm. And so off of that play action in the run game, where the Patriots have always been great, even with Tom Brady, was attacking between the hashes, using their tight ends, using Julian Edelman between the hashes. Now we've got a number of guys that we feel confident that can get down the field and make big plays for us on the inside portion of the field to complement our run game. That, to me, is how New England has been built. That is what Cam Newton does well. That's how they want to play. Now they've added a couple pieces that will allow them to play that way. And you mentioned it, a couple, speedier guys on the outside, which is something they didn't have last year. Another strength of Cam Newton's. Once again, it's about pushing the ball down the field and giving me a couple of those big-time throws and big-time plays a game. They didn't have those last year. So it was, we've got to work the ball down methodically, 10, 12-play drives. That is hard for any team, and it's really hard when your quarterback isn't tremendously efficient, which is not who Cam Newton's been throughout his career.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.